Can have fun playing. Yeah, let's play some friendlies, Marcus, and I'm just gonna let's have it out here. Let's talk about Rocket League. So,
Let's do it.
what was it that
If I
originally you're so as I learned today, something that I didn't know about you is that you are
Yes,
formerly a host of a video game podcast. And
yeah,
what I do know about you from experience of just being your Steam friend is that you play like a wide
Exist.
range of games. So
I own too many games.
yeah, I would respectfully argue that you own too many games. So what is it about Rocket League that makes you come back and play it more? Because you play it quite a
It,
bit.
it is a consistently addictive game, perfectly balanced, and I don't know. There's something to be said for the fact that every time you hit the ball, it feels just as good as the first time you hit it in the game. I don't
Uh,
That's
know.
very good.
yeah, it is kind of weird. I've played few games in which there's almost like a tactile connection to your body when your car like strikes. The fact that you can, it really does feel like you can actually feel it. And I know not like just
Yeah.
controller vibrations. It just seems
Oh,
like
that's
real. It's pretty unique.
That's badly said.
Uh,
It's like, I guess the way to put it is, it's the only game I've ever played, a sports game, that actually felt kind of as competitive as sports in real life felt for me.
yeah, that's interesting. That's actually a pretty good segue too, because I was going to say, would you say that part of the reason that you love Rocket League is because it's a really good balance of a game that's an actual sport, but you don't really have to be a sports fan to figure out how to do it and love it?
That's over.
Yeah, it's like instantly accessible, but has a lot of nuance and
That's also
just
bad.
kind of intricacies that
Oh no.
kind of set it apart from any other kind of like arcadey whatever fucking game. Um,
I got this.
it's just so good. I don't know how else to put it. It's
Yeah, I know
such
how
a
you
great
feel.
game.
So I think it's safe to say that if we were to poll the community amongst us who plays this regularly, that I
Oh,
think
that's my bad.
if people were to kind of vote for who they thought was the best player, I think it's likely that you would be voted the top. Uh, what is it
I don't know how I feel about
about your style?
Hear that hit.
Explain your overall approach to this game. Like when you get on the field playing threes, what is it that you seek to do in a game? What is it that you think that you bring to a team that makes you an effective player?
I like to be the standout defensive player. I play defense in a way that expects my teammates not to sound like an asshole, to miss the ball
that's my bad.
in the defensive
I just
possession.
did a really good thing.
Interesting.
So I play in a way as if that if I can't count on them, what do I have to do next to make sure that I can cover their miss?
I find that
Um,
really interesting because
Oh
I
my
kind of
goodness.
operate. My play style is to operate under the assumption that my teammate will execute the thing that I would expect them to. So what you're saying is we kind of play in opposite philosophies in a way, and that you play more of a risk management style. Is that what you would say?
I guess saying that is kind of accounting for the fact that I do not leave the goal unless I'm forced to. And the only reason I would be forced to is if either a teammate misses the ball when trying to clear it out of our defensive area,
Mhm.
or by forcing the opponent to take a shot. So it kind of takes care of two issues where
Oh no.
either
I'm sick at Rocket League, but continue.
That was insane.
Yeah.
either I have to make a save and I'm in good position to do so by being in the net, or I'm in good position to pull out and recover for somebody else missing on defense.
Okay, so in our previous tournament, the initial tournament that we did, that was
I got this.
2v2. You lost in the finals.
In the center of this.
How did that feel?
It sucked. I
Oh, do
didn't
you
want to
have
lose to anybody. I didn't mind losing French and Chandler because they were from our same division. I respect everybody we play, but I respected them a lot because Orange has gotten very, very good. Like even through the middle of that tournament.
Yeah, he really
It
grew up
sucked.
in that tournament in a lot of ways in the game. It
It's-
seemed like.
It sucked. Like as soon as it ended, I was like, kind of fucking furious.
It was a heartbreaking series, and it was a grind. Overall, you guys had played a great many games against each other, not even just in that series, but from the group before. So I think it was a rare instance in a small sample size of games where you actually had a really good familiarity with the opposing team. And I think early on, it seemed like you were poised to take the whole thing. I'm sure even you felt like it was a matter of time. Did you won the first 2 games, or you won the first game and then lost the second game, and what,
I think we won the first, then we lost the second, then won the third, and then I think like we had a shot to win.
Yeah,
the
there was
fourth game or something like that, and then like some crazy shit happened, and like the first 2 games, I think we had like an insane amount of goals, and then just it was too much. They took over for whatever reason.
What would you say was the biggest lesson you learned, or like the biggest thing that you took out of that tournament that's kind of changed your game for the better since it's transpired?
To balance my aggressiveness, because half the time, like that entire fucking tournament, we were in elimination game, at least down to or won every series.
Yeah, you definitely had a long grind to the finals.
Well, I remember you saying like in your commentary that this is, interesting that Marcus isn't pulling forward, he's staying back, because I was so worried that they would get the first goal, that they would, get some kind of advantage.
Yeah, I remember I got the sense watching you at the time that it looked like you were trying not to lose instead of trying to win.
Yeah,
that's what.
Oh, look at me!
Said, like when we were playing Pudis and Rufus, we were down 2 in the elimination game, and I was playing that way, and then I finally was like, I can't do this. Win.
Yeah.
And got 2 goals to fucking tie it.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh shoot.
30 seconds. Yeah, I think just to be aggressive and defensive. I think if I only play defense, it's because I'm trying to pivot to my strength, but I think that's to my detriment, at least in 2v2. Maybe in 3v3 that's different, but 2v2 I think you got to have both guys involved to really score. So.
That's interesting what you said about, like, to your detriment. What would you say as a Rocket League player is your biggest weakness?
Biggest weakness?
Like, what are you trying to improve upon the most in order to become a better player?
To work on the walls better, to be more strategic with walls, but also to create my own shots. I think sometimes on offense I wait for something to happen and then act on it, where lately I've been trying to basically just be aggressive in the sense that maybe Orange or Pudis or you might be, where you're setting up your own pass and you're following it and you've got it and you're taking shots that normally you might hang back off it because you're waiting for a drop in or something from a better looking pass. So I don't have to rely so much on that. I can just kind of score at will. That's what I'm working on.
Nice. Who do you find is the most difficult player for you to play against, and why?
Jesus Christ. Orange. Yeah, I would say Orange.
Yeah.
He's the only fucking player that I know can score a goal in a way that I might not anticipate and then cannot save. And he's very quick on offense, where if I'm not back, like, it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, he's very good at capitalizing on opportunities and kind of making the most of just... I find there are a couple players who we play with that as soon as there's an open goal and there's nobody in front of it, it's basically all but done, which is not easy to do.
Sure.
But that's one of those things that's like invaluable in this game. It's gotten to the point where you play competitively enough where people don't really make mistakes in the defensive end. So as soon as there is an open net, you just basically have to put it in, because that's the difference. I find it's weird because once you get to a certain level of the game, it's not about being... I mean, it's obviously about being aggressive, but the game becomes which team screws up and which team is able to make the other team pay.
Well, I think that's how I play in goal, where, sometimes like you'll see players, at least in random casual ranked play or whatever, where they'll get the ball like maybe a little past midfield and they start just kind of dribbling the ball around because they're expecting to come at them. And I don't do that. I just wait for them to come to me, force them to commit to one side of the goal and act on it. And it's worked as far as kind of getting a decent chunk of saves per match. Typically,
Uh,
doesn't always work.
I'm glad you said that too, because I was trying to figure out a way to best explain some things about this game that I think are crucial, that I think even people who have played a little bit aren't even aware of, and like those who haven't played at all would never be aware of. Like, what are some of the unwritten rules you would say about the strategy game of Rocket League? Like, obviously, it's players who are technically skilled. In my opinion, there's two things that make a good player: technical skill and awareness. So what are like the big awareness things that maybe aren't like obvious to certain players that you think could help make a person who maybe not be the most technically skilled be a more effective player?
Oh God, that is a tough question, because I think in some ways this game's really based off of feel a lot of times. So technical stuff matters greatly, but it may not always. In certain situations in the game, it may not even make a difference. I think centering passes, if you don't have a head-on shot, is always a must. I think in general, you need to have your team's order.
Oh, we lost you there.
Striker.
You dropped out for a second. Just say that last point. One.
I think teams need to have a committed set of players in the sense that they have assigned roles.
Oh,
where,
interesting.
There's one committed goalie that he's going to get back, and if he's not, then you got to assist him, but at least typically he's back. And then you've got a striker and kind of a midfield guy that sets up passes, kind of helps out on defense for the goalie. Fast break guy, goalie guy, passing guy.
So you got that?
I think that's always important to have. I think that's when
You
we
can
played
get that.
together, always been the way we played. Especially early on, like when we kind of were figuring out the game. I would play goalie, he'd be kind of like passer, striker, and then Curtis would be striker, Orange would be striker, and we just killed people.
Yeah, it's. I think a level of responsibility is important. What were you gonna say, Joey Karate, my friend?
No, I'm just talking about the game at hand, and I'm messing it all up.
No, I don't agree. I think
Oh, that was nice.
if
What a
I
shot.
could tell like any person who played Rocket League, and one thing, it would be just because you can hit the ball doesn't mean you should.
I agree.
I feel like that's something that people struggle with. Like anytime they're near the ball, regardless of whether they have momentum or regardless of whether they're facing their own net or the opponent's net, or even if they have a teammate who has a better look at the ball, people will just hit it just because it's close and they feel like that's the thing to do. I've noticed that you are not the type of player that has that sort of tunnel vision, and I wonder if there is any like advice you think you might be able to give to get people to break the habit of just like going after every single ball that's anywhere near them.
Are you asking me or are you asking
I'm asking you like what you do to kind of like I know that you're an exceptionally disciplined player, but like is there anything that helps you do that specifically that maybe could help people who kind of struggle with that?
I think it's the awareness factor you're talking about strategically, like where I turn off ball cam in certain situations to check my surroundings, and I'm kind of always keeping an eye on where everybody is so that I know if I hit the ball in a certain direction, whether or not it's risky, advantageous, going to lead to something potentially good, and that it's worth it to hit it. So I think it's kind of like this kind of mini game in your head going on where you're constantly thinking about the projected outcome or tendencies that you may get out of hitting it at that moment. Now you should.
Okay, cool. What is the most...
Said big OL doggies.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
What have you done, Joey? You trickster.
That was me. I'm sorry, I'm a robot now.
No, that's great. That's excellent. Please tell us about your robot tendencies.
That robot is I'm Ryan.
Oh man, I'm Ryan. I really wish you were here right now so we could actually have our first match. Now I'm bummed at the first match.
She said big OL doggies.
Yeah.
That is me. I'm a robot, and I love doggies.
That's great.
We don't play
Doggies
with
are
them,
awesome. Marcus, what would you say is the most fun thing that happens to you in this game on like a regular
Cassie
basis?
said
Like,
big oil doggies.
What's the most what?
what's like the most fun you have playing Rocket League like regularly?
Oh, that's my bad.
Just The
Nice.
feeling of connecting aerials. I think that video I made yesterday might indicate that a little bit, that there's nothing more, it's like the most beautiful play
in there?
in gaming to go up high, connect the ball, and hit it in a general direction that you intended.
Yeah, would you say the aerial aspect of this
Season
game is
said
what makes it
OAL.
like truly memorable?
Yes, because I first got this game for PS4. I had my brother-in-law and a couple of his friends come over to my house, and I was like, "Yeah, check out this game, Rocket League. Let's play it." And we were terrible, obviously, and we're basically tapping the ball all the way to the other goal, and like just having it roll in and stuff.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
did a good job, and I was like, "This is okay. It's kind of fun. Maybe I'll check it out." And then
Season
once I
McGee
started to
said
get down the
Doggo
other
L Diggies.
aspects and figuring out aerials, it's like, you're in.
All right.
Yeah, I like this video game. If you want to interview me, I'll just say I like this video game.
Yeah, I would love to interview you, Matt. So, what is it about this video game that you like, and why did you start playing it? Because I know video games are a big part of your life, definitely in a way that's not
Truly.
as similar to me and Marcus.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I used to play hockey somewhat competitively, and I just like that there's still the sort of positioning, and you have to deal with where the puck or the ball is going to go.
That's interesting. I didn't know
In the
you're a
next
hockey
few
player.
seconds.
I myself am a hockey player, so that's one of the big reasons why I love this game as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
just in the next hour, not hour. I'm insane. In the next second or two, where the puck would go.
Yeah, the
I used to play defense in hockey.
Oh, so yeah,
and
which
so
is
you would-
all about
I'll be right
anticipation.
back, guys.
Well, did you just get
Mhm.
the server down for maintenance message from
Yeah, I did
Rocket
too.
League?
It sucks.
Oh, that's
Well, that's my fault.
yeah. You shut the servers down. That's unbelievable. Well, that might be a logical point to shut it down for. Oh no, I guess I could get the room back up. I don't think this match that we anticipated having at 8:30 is going to happen, so I think we're going to have to wait to the one that's going to happen around 10:30 tonight, which is a bummer. So I apologize that you weren't able to play, but hopefully the practice with your team ended up
We
being.
got to. I haven't actually played with anybody on my team yet.
Yeah, so yeah, you just got to play as a team for a while, so I bet you that'll end up being pretty worthwhile.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, it's so it turns out when we did the draft, Contristo, for whatever reason, amongst like the group of us, was like a relatively unknown player. And after playing with him now in the past couple weeks since like the tournament has gained momentum, it turns out that he clearly should have been one of the captains. So, and Marcus is like, as we said, Marcus, I would probably say is like the best all-around player. Or if like all of us were to vote, he would probably come out on top. And he
Yeah,
with
he
the
certainly posts the most in the thread.
yeah, he's very you know, he's a good sport. He's a big participator. But so he ended up getting the last pick in the draft. So he got 2 in a row, and he actually took.
Oh, nice.
So he took Contristo with his second pick, which is hysterical in hindsight.
Cassius said tits.
It seems now that they'll definitely be the top team, or you're the favorite team early. I would say for sure.
That feels good. Especially because my internet is so spotty that hopefully during a match I don't just lag out.
Well, you have 2 exceptionally responsible teammates, and that is like
Yeah.
worth its weight in gold in this game.
I've also been trying to establish that I will not be playing back, so that they should not rely on me to save any sort of goal.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like the beauty of Marcus, and I think that's what makes him the best player, because he's unique in the sense that he takes defensive responsibility to kind of like, and like as you said, a hockey comical level, in the sense that he's not pinching, he's not going up past the blue line
Season
ever.
McGee
Like
said
he
big ups
really
to big
sits,
pups.
he sits home, and but he'll score from deep because he's always there for the rebounds when everybody kind of misses their tech, and all of a sudden there's this neutral ball in the middle of the field, and he can definitely finish it. You can play a certain way with Marcus that you can't play with other teammates, because most people just see the ball and they see the net and they want to score.
Yeah, whenever I was playing hockey, it was like, if I was on the bench, I got so anxious because I was like, if I'm not in play, how are they're going to score on our team? But if I'm in play, they're not going to score on our team.
It's such a weird mentality, but I know exactly how you feel. It's hard to kind of get yourself in the mindset in a game like this where you have to
Cecil McBee
trust
said
that
big
other
ups to big
people can
pups.
do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro
Yeah.
said bro.
Especially in this